Good afternoon, Crystal. How are you, ma'am?
I am good.
We have a cool show today. I'm super excited about it.
Okay.
As you can tell by I sent you the little workup. The show is actually about, or the broadcast is actually about what keeps plan sponsors up at night, and that's a wee bit of a misnomer. It should be what should keep plan sponsors up at night. So we want to be preventative rather than uh, closing the door after the horse has left. So, how about if I read your bio and then we can jump right into it? Is that
Sounds
cool?
good to me.
Okay. All righty. Hello, everybody. Please help me welcome my friend and colleague, Crystal Mitchell, to our broadcast. Crystal is a business coach and consultant. She's the CEO of Mitchell Business Solutions, co director of Recycling Black Dollars, co host of The Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert, a weekly online radio show. And might I add, I have not been on that show. Just saying, just saying. Instructor at Mount Sinai,
I think I should fix that like soon.
or I'll say it again. Instructor of Mount San Antonio Community College, certified network for teaching entrepreneurship instructor, and a QuickBooks Pro Advisor financial strategist. Hey, Crystal, how you doing?
I am good. And yes, I will make sure that happens. And after our show, I'm going to tell you, we just had this amazing meeting that Recycle Black Dollars and the community briefing was all part of. We are bringing folks together, man. I'm going to have everybody, all clusters going to be shut down soon. And we're going to be one single voice.
Oh, nice, very cool. I'm all about the what do you call that? Inclusivity.
Yes.
Um, all about rising up as one. That is awesome. Good for you. Can't wait to
Yeah.
hear.
Yeah, so can't wait to tell you about it. Forgot to tell you about that, but it was that other thing that was quite working on my nerves.
There you go. There you go.
But let's
So
get
today, what should plan sponsors be worried about if they're going to start the 401k plan, if they're going to start a retirement plan? What should be on their mind? And that way they can get out in front of it. And the reason I think this is so important, or one of the reasons I think this is so important, is often plan sponsors are busy working on their business, working in their business, I should say. They're busy working in their business rather than working on their business. That's pretty common. And so they get
hmm
surprised. And it doesn't matter how many times we put out a calendar or how many times we nudge them in the right direction. If they don't have the correct mindset going in and
hmm
around the topic, they get surprised. And it's pretty tough on them because there's some hoops you got to jump through. So let's kind of break those down and see where we can go with it. Now I've got about four of them that I really want to touch. Is
Okay.
there? You've got the list in front of you though, right?
I have the list. No, that's fine. That works.
Okay, so all right, so we'll hit the first one. Um, Fiduciary. Now, if there's one that you want to jump into, as you know, just go right ahead. But the first one I want to talk about is a big one. We've cut around it and talked about and went under it and over it on our broadcast before, but it's fiduciary responsibilities. And I got this from a little thing I pulled up on Chat GPT, to be honest with you. But
That's cool. I love that.
but the little article there was only bringing up the topics. It really didn't go into the ideas. And I think fiduciary responsibility is huge, as most people, when they start the retirement plan, they start it, and I have to say, I totally understand this. They start it so that they can save money for themselves and for their families. I mean, they want to save the money. The federal government has this wonderful thing called a retirement plan, a 401k or 403b or 457 that you as a business owner can use to save money. The problem is you got to hook everybody else up in your company.
hmm
That's the rub. So in order for you to put money in, you got to put everybody else has to put money in. All right, that's tough. And we can get into the safe harbor thing. We
hmm
don't want to do that now. But the mindset that we want to adopt is I need to do this in the best interest of participants. And that doesn't mean that you yourself are not a participant if you happen to be a business owner. Every business owner I know almost every business owner I know invest in the retirement plan. So they are participants. So it's not like it's exclusive to people that are not you. Don't think that. But
Right.
it is a biggie. Sponsors are supposed to work. It's pretty much the only cardinal rule that we have in retirement plans is that um, plan sponsors, owners of organizations, that group of people that are responsible, they are mandated to act in the best interest of participants, even though they may be participants themselves. And
Mm-hmm.
that gets you. So that means that you can't use the money for collateral. You can't put it up in case your house does something. Things you can't just borrow money from the plan. It's not your money. It's not the plan. It's the money belongs to the participants. You have to invest in investments that are going to be good for participants. And even though you think that piece of land out there by the ocean is a good real estate investment, that doesn't mean it's always appropriate for your plan. Sometimes it does, but it doesn't
Mm-hmm.
always. So I think fiduciary responsibilities it's keen. It's the first one. We got to talk about it, and you got to get your mind wrapped around. Okay, I'm doing this for the best interest of participants. I'm gonna benefit.
Mm-hmm.
I need to wrap my mind around that. Make
Mm.
sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's one that, it confuses people, because why do I need to benchmark? Why do I need to make sure that the costs are appropriate? Why do I need to do this? But, you have to do that in order to show that you're acting in the best interest of participants. Okay, so that's number one. Number two on the list is market volatility. And my opinion of market volatility is that it's great. We don't need to manage it. We just need to work with it and bring it into our tent. It's a good thing. Market volatility, like diversity, uh, like in being inclusive. Those are good things that help us. They help us grow. They help us become better people. Market volatility helps our investments become fuller, faster, and better. But you have to understand what it is and how to work it. Make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Which is interesting. This weekend, I had lunch with a friend yesterday, and she works for the um city or county, one of them, city, I think. And she was saying that her investments took a big hit. One of her coworkers had told her that her mark their uh, their opinion was when Biden was elected, then all of their retirement plan investments took a big dive because the market crashed. I didn't quite remember it that way, but I
Yeah.
went, I don't
Hmm.
remember that happening, but okay. But
Yeah.
anyway, some of them made some drastic decisions and pulled money out and did all kinds of interesting things because that was the commentary they received. So,
Yes.
which would be a market volatility, right? If that had happened, but
But since it did not, hmm, hmm, uh, yeah, you just have to. I was going to talk this week on Warren Buffett's new strategy, but that and what you just said um, goes to just don't get caught up in the rhetoric, right? You can avoid the Democrats and the Republicans, the conspiracy, you can avoid all that by having a proven thing that works, a proven philosophy that works with regard to investing, and not get swayed by people that are trying to convince you that their conspiracy is better than that guy's conspiracy. I'll just
yeah,
leave it at that.
right, exactly. But I think, but it's a big thing because what do we? That's what I've always said about, especially those that had company retirement plans. They really truly don't understand the ins and the outs. They just know they have it, right, and they know they're investing in it every paycheck, right, but not enough information or them to understand really what that looks like until about 5 years before possibly 2 years before they're about to retire, then all of a sudden everything is about our investment. What's happening with our money, right? Because I'm going to be retiring in a year or two, and I need to make sure all my dollars are there. What do I need to do? But leading up to that, no conversation, no research, no calling a Jevon, none of that until we're like 6 months out from retirement.
Yeah. And I'm trying to not place blame on anyone because that never does anyone any good, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think, as I've often said on our little broadcast, that love looks different than it used to. I mean, there was a time when you could use your grandfather's hoe and you could put that in front of your spouse and say, this is the hoe that my grandfather used to grow these acres of potatoes or peas or what have you. And now I'm requesting it to you, or now I'm using it for you, or now we're using it together. And isn't that great? Well, for most of us, those days are gone. Those days of you working in the field, defending your land and going off to fight the war and come back, that's not happening anymore.
Right.
Technology has made work different. Now we sit at home. Now we have cars. We have a complete different separation of labor. And part of that separation of labor is understanding your benefits. And I'm a card carrying member of the stick your head in the sand. For years, I had no idea of the difference between a what do you call it? A PPO and a
HMO.
HMO and a PPO. Had no idea what the difference. Didn't know. I just wanted to go to the doctor and get fixed. Well, now that I'm paying all the bill, I know.
You understand now, huh?
What it is. I understand exactly what it is. And I'm not sure that I like it, but those are the rules, and that's how I'm rolling, right? That's
right.
That's the deal. And I think the same is true of retirement plans. And I love my parents. I will go to the ends of the earth, but I have to say that they didn't know either. So when it came to them to help me and my sisters decide what kind of retirement plan should we invest in and what kind of a healthcare plan should we take advantage of because we're going to be working out here in corporate America, they were clueless. They had no idea. And so therefore, so am I. So I'm saying, if you have children, talk to them about that retirement plan. Talk to them about healthcare. Talk to them about saving for retirement. Talk to them about that because it's a big thing, especially now. And I'm going on and on about this, and I'm sorry, but especially now that we're living to 80 and 90 years old. There was a time we had the good sense to die at 60, 70 years old.
The good sense, huh?
At 65 and die at 70, and life was cool. And we spread our things out to our children and stuff, and they could go to the bank and get some money or get the house or do whatever. Now that we're living to 85, 90, 95, we got 30 some odd years we need to live on that money. So it's a big deal. It's serious. It's a lot more serious than it used to be. That idea, I'll worry about that when I retire, that ain't gonna work. Sorry.
Yeah, you got to know that. And of course the cost is objective, of course, but the cost is so much more. Cost of living is so much more than it was when our parents were when we were growing up, right? So and the cost of living just goes up just drastically, all the time. And so it's important because what does retirement look like past retirement? And we've become accustomed to a new way of life, right?
Yes.
Right. We don't. Our parents sacrifice. We're not much on that sacrifice stuff. That was things your parents did.
So bad. That is so bad. But okay. Now I'm going to go on record saying I know lots of parents who sacrifice for their children, but you go ahead.
No, I said our parents were sacrificers. We're less that we're going to give up in our life than our parents did. Our parents lived on 5 cents. At least mine did.
I mean, it's true. There was a whole lot of sacrificing going on. A whole lot of it. and they
Mm-hmm.
deserve to rest and be and do what they want to do. And I certainly support that. I do that as much as I can.
Right.
The reality of the situation is life is different now. And so if you love your kids now, you'll talk to them about, I'm going to say it, you'll talk to them about healthcare plan. You'll talk to them about retirement. Maybe you'll wait till they're in college and they're going to get that first job, or they're going to, or when they're in high school and they're going to get that first job. And you want to talk to them about, ooh, who the heck is that FICA person? Where'd
Right.
they come from?
That's a conversation that doesn't get had before a kid gets his first job. They come home going like, "Where's my money?"
Exactly. So I got
Right.
two more to do.
Okay.
Two more. The first is retirement readiness. Now, I think that retirement readiness is incredibly important because it makes your employees think that you're looking out for them, and then it helps
Mhm.
them understand that there is an end game here, and it helps them actually understand that we're just not taking their money, right?
Mhm.
And planning for the future is a good thing, and it also helps in recruitment. So if I've got someone who is thinking about retirement readiness, and they're thinking, okay, I'm gonna do the match. I'm gonna do the match to help these folks reach that retirement goal,
Mhm.
versus someone who says, I don't care if they retire or not, that's their problem. Um, I'm going to see that in that retirement plan. And if I'm a future employee or a possible employee, I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to go with the match. A, it's
Mhm.
more money, but B, there's a chance this person cares about me as an employee a little bit more,
Right.
which is where we're going, where we care about folks a little bit more than we used to, or at least in a different way. And I think as employers, we've always said, oh, you're part of the family. Oh, we want to take care of you. But now that means we're putting our money where our mouth is, and we're putting in that match. We're getting a tax break because of that match, but we're putting it in. So retirement
Mhm.
readiness, I think, should be one of those things that you as an employer, when you're evaluating that retirement plan, when you're evaluating that advisor, okay, what are they doing to make sure that this plan actually helps my folks reach their retirement age? Are they available? Do they try to do meetings? Do they evaluate that plan to see what's going on? Are there some new things in there? Is the plan diverse enough? Do they talk to you about diversity? Right? When you have a chance to meet them, what does diversity mean? Are you comfortable with that? Can you call
Mhm.
them up and say, hey, what is this? How does this work? How does this affect me as an employer? So retirement readiness, I think, is really big, and it starts with making sure your participants can reach their retirement dream, that they actually have a chance to do that.
Okay.
The last one that I have on my list is cybersecurity threats. And I was surprised to put it on the list, but I have to admit, every client that I have is concerned about it, and for
Mm.
very, very good reason. We used to think that it was large clients that only had to worry about that, but now the information suggests that small clients, medium-sized clients, they are right there with large clients, because even though they may not have the money, they certainly don't have the defenses. They are there for the picking, and they will pay whatever they have to pay, whatever they can pay to get themselves out of a bad situation. So, whereas an untoward person, a cyber thief, may go after a large organization, have to fight through some firewalls, have to make sure, have to do some things to get in, right, in order to steal the information that they want. An army of one with a modest bank account, they don't have that firewall. They don't have that extra security. So they're easy pickings.
Mhm.
You can get 3 or 4 of them a day instead of maybe getting one there. It's called bird in the hand. So I'm encouraging everyone to keep that top of mind as possible. And my friends that do cybersecurity, they'd say the same thing as well. You need to protect yourself, even as a small army of one. You really need to protect yourself.
I agree. In fact, uh, AARP, if you in which you get that lovely newsletter at the age of 50. But
Once
every
you become
month,
50.
huh? Right. Well, no, that was then. But that's your first birthday present is your newsletter to AARP and the birthday
Yes.
card. They're
Yes.
very nice like that.
Yes. You're right.
But in their monthly newsletter that you receive or newspaper that you receive, that pretty much every issue, the cyber security violations and threats and protecting yourself and how you need to be careful when you pick up the phone or click on links on your phone. And that age group is like your target. The minute you hit 50, I don't know how the scammers know this, but the minute you hit 50, they are after you with everything. And some of them are quite convincing. And if you're a pretty cloistered kind of person and you don't really stay up on current news and you're not on the internet um, like that, then you are a prime victim for cyber security, and they know this. So they come after them because even your big companies, ransomware is a big thing, and they end up having to spend tons of, large sums of money in order to protect that. But in some cases, they have to pay large sums of money just to get their systems back.
Yes. Very
Yeah.
much. Yes.
The
Yeah.
downside of the internet, right? Because it makes everything available to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's something to, it should be part of this because somebody take all your retirement savings and you have absolutely nothing. And there's no way to get it back because you don't even know who took it.
Nope. Sure don't. No. Well said.
Yeah.
Okay, just as a quick review, I want to say that things that plan sponsors, new plan sponsors, old plan sponsors ought to keep in mind. Number one, their fiduciary responsibility, acting in the best interest of participants. Two, volatility. How is their plan using volatility to help folks? Number three, retirement readiness. Have that mindset for your participants, help them actually reach their retirement goals so they can get through your organization. And then number four, last but not least, is you've got to pay attention to cybersecurity. That's just the way the world works now. That's what I've got.
I think those were all very good.
Well, good. Any closing comments?
No, I just think people in this day and age, we just have to be more involved and we have to ask questions. And we have to ask questions of people like yourself, Jevon, retirement plans advice. Don't just assume it. And if you're not getting answers from the person who's who your employer or whoever's administering your plan, then find out who you can speak to beyond them so you can get the answers that you need because it's all about your retirement, right? So you want to make sure you understand all of the ins and outs in order to be prepared.
Could not have said it better. Thank you very much, Crystal. It is always, always a pleasure. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. And we'll see you next time on Conversations on the Patio.
All righty. Bye-bye, everyone.